don't know if I would say it's the fault of the Boston
Well, I'm talking
Celtics.
about it being publicized. That's all I'm talking about.
But Stephen A., if actions have occurred, the Celtics do have the right to get in front of it if it's bigger than what we know it to be. Here's the question I've been asking myself since I heard about this news yesterday. Because we see organizations do this all the time that have won championships or in the spirit to win at all costs, which is sports. Right? We see it in football, we see it in basketball all the time. A guy's been in the world championship the year prior and part of the odds-on favorite to get to the championship again. If he's having a consensual relationship, even though it violates team policy, wouldn't that be like a 10, 20 game suspension? Would that be a whole year? So a whole year to me.
I don't think it would be a 10 to 20 game suspension.
Not even that. So Ron Artest, the Malice in the Palace, had a year-long suspension. So what else is here that has made Brad Stevens, who I've spent time with, I know personally from his Butler days and actually spending time with him at Jordan Cornette's golf outing a month ago, has always seemed reasonable, practical, has had a relationship with him for a very long time. What would allow the team to make it a year-long suspension? That's a very long time. It makes me tend to believe that there is a lot more there that we do not know the nuances of yet before we just come to ultimatum or absolute conclusions.
Listen, here's the bottom line, okay? Let's just say for the sake of argument, hypothetically. Let's just say because, again, we don't know what's going on and we're not going to pretend.
That's why this conversation, I know we have to do it because it's, but I said to you in the meeting, that's why it makes me so uncomfortable.
It's very
I
uncomfortable.
agree with you.
I feel very uncomfortable.
Well, here's what should make everybody uncomfortable, okay? It's not just that we're having a conversation. It's why. Why are we having this conversation? Because the damn stuff was leaked out by the organization. You covering yourself. What is there to cover? See, we got to be big. We got to be adults here. So, reportedly, 2 adults had a consensual relationship, and that relationship violated organizational policy. I've heard more. You heard more. We ain't going there. We don't know. But what we can say is 2 grown adults had a consensual relationship, but because it was within the organization, it violated organizational policy. What exactly do you need to get out in front of?
If that's the case, then that's wrong.
That's what was put out. So what I'm saying, that's what was put out.
Wrong.
My point is, that's all. So unless you're telling us there was criminal activity involved and a lawsuit was pending, the point is 2 consensual adults had a consensual relationship that was against organizational policy. And that is why this man is put on Front Street, suspended for the year, with all the shenanigans that go on within organizations. I'm looking at it and I'm going like this. I'm like, come on.
I have a question. Was that the is it a hard, fast rule that if somebody breaks this policy that it is
every organization is different, but with the Celtics organization, okay, for reasons that we can't get into on national television, because I know. You have an organizational policy in place that prohibits you from engaging in said activities, even if it's consensual. My point is, okay, fine, fire him. You fire him, you let us speculate as to why you fired him. But what you don't do is put out, it was a consensual relationship and it was a violation of organizational policy. And that's paraded all over the news, and that a year-long suspension is coming with a 50% reduction in salary, even though that's me.
Let me flip this.
Maybe they're trying to protect
Come on,
Let
man.
me flip this.
Come on.
No, let me
maybe they're trying to protect him?
Jay, let me flip this and throw this to you, because what you were saying basically from the Woj report, that if potentially he was given the option, you resign, you're fired, or it's a year. Do you think it's the right choice by him, by Udoka, to decide to accept the year-long suspension?
I can't come to that conclusion because I don't know what everything he's dealing with. Like, we're coming to a hardcore stance on a report that I feel like there's a lot more digging before we find out a lot more detail.
And I'm saying to you, I don't need a lot more details
I understand what you're saying.
to know that this shouldn't have been publicized.
Okay.
That's my issue.
Yeah, I'm with you on it.
That's my issue.
Understand that.
Nothing else. Listen, if somebody got fired, here at ESPN, they're going to say we fired him. They ain't going to tell you why. You can speculate all you want to. But you ain't going to say, they ain't going to leak why. This is before the story came out. We got a press conference with Carrion on national television within the hour, okay? Because a man that came in there in year one and guided you to the finals, you are suspending him for the rest of the year. I ain't heard nothing from Jason Tatum. I've heard nothing from Jaylen Brown.
Well, in all their defense, I think it's above their pay grade, frankly.
Oh, wait a minute. It ain't above no player's pay grade to comment. Oh, no, not today's generation with player empowerment. Hell no. But you can comment.
I understand, but knowing Jaylen Brown, knowing his character and how smart he is with Jason Tatum, I think they would comment if they had all the information.
Okay, and I'm not
I don't think they have all the information.
Listen, there is nothing wrong with saying we don't have all the information. But damn, it's a damn shame that this became public like this. And this man is being thrown out the pasture. I'm talking about his personal business being thrown out the pasture. I'm just saying, there's a whole bunch of stuff that go on with owners, with executives, with coaches, with players, and we never, ever, ever hear about their personal business.
But Stephen A.
This is the exception.
I
got a problem with that. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.